Right when you think the Bulls have got some momentum, they go ahead and lose it almost immediately. Typical Bulls. Now, what I'm talking about is the 8-point loss the Bulls had on Monday versus one of the top teams in the East in the Boston Celtics, where Jason Tatum and Grant Will tore up the Bulls in Boston as both players combined for 52, and this loss came right after a 3-game win streak at the beginning of the month for Chicago. And in those 3 games, it looked like the Bulls had finally found a groove. Now, you might not think that 3 games is a lot, but it does tie the longest lasting win streak the Bulls have had all year, which makes sense considering the team is sitting at a pretty mid record of 19-23, 3 months into the season. During the last few wins, Zach LaVine and Vooch were in their bags, with Zach dropping 30 plus points twice, 2 times, while Nikola got 2 double-doubles and 1 triple-double during that time, snagging all the boards for the team. But even with this hot streak, the Bulls are still 4 games under 500 and the 10th seed in a top-heavy Eastern Conference. Look, the team has the 15th best offensive rating in the league, which might be good enough for some organizations, but when your team is full of all-star players like DeMar, LaVine, Vuce, you think, players who are known for scoring, then 15th suddenly becomes not good enough. And if you thought the team was underperforming on offense, then you're in for a treat when I tell you how this team's been on defense. With the Bulls giving up just about 114 points per 100 possessions, giving them one of the worst defensive ratings in the league. I'm talking top 10 worst. So what is the problem with this team exactly? I mean, DeMar's scoring some of the most points per game he has ever. Plus, DeRozan has been keeping up his rebounds and assist numbers at around 5 each this year, which are pretty solid numbers for him. However, the problem seems to arise for DeRozan when you look at his 3-point percentage, which has been pretty damn low this year compared to last, with him sitting at around 271, which it isn't unusual for DeMar to be doing that, with him being poor from the 3-point line throughout his whole career. In fact, DeMar being good from the 3-point line has been so rare that one of the main reasons DeRozan was an all-star last year was because he shot from the 3 so well. But alas, DeMar's fallen back into his old ways, and his far distance shooting has gone back to normal. There's a reason they call him the king of the mid-range and not a 3-point god. Or, here's another possibility, the team is struggling because he's playing a lot less power forward this year and much more small forward, you feel me? Now, he isn't the only reason the Chicago Bulls have been terribly underperforming. They should not be mid right now with the roster they have. I mean, the team was constructed with the hopes of being title contenders. That's what the front office thought they were going to be when they made all those moves 2 years ago. Instead, they're anything but. Hell, they might just miss the play-in, and 2/3 of the whole league makes that shit. For example, Zach LaVine is having a pretty bad year statistically. The guy's points, assists, rebounds, and field goal percentage have all been down this year. And proof of this is the fact that his efficiency hasn't been this bad since LaVine's very first year in Chicago, which you just hate to see. I mean, like DeRozan, Zach was also coming off of a career year, which really puts all of this into perspective. 2 of the team's best players have career high years and get bounced in the first round by Giannis Antetokounmpo. And I know Zach missed Game 5 with COVID, but there's no way they were winning that series even with LaVine in Game 5. However, one bright spot for LaVine this season was the fact that he's gotten his 3-point percentage up this year. Compared to there's something there. There's something. Now, the next player I want to talk about is big ol' Vuce, whose scoring's gone quite down a bit since he landed in Chi-Town. Now, to be fair, that wasn't too big a deal for Nikola, since he'd gone from being the first option on a terrible, very bad team to the 3rd option on a playoff-worthy team. So scoring less was gonna happen until you realize that his efficiency has also been on the decline, with his PER dipping all the way to 19 this year, which is a massive negative, since it peaked at around 25.5 back in 2019, which is almost 4+ years ago at this point. And I haven't even mentioned the decline in rebounds and assists, but that's enough boost slander, because even with his efficiency on the decline, his field goal percentage has been on the up and up. Now, here's the thing. What I'm trying to get at is the fact that these star players who've come together to build this team are pretty good separately. They're just not meshing on the court. They're not leading to wins. I mean, when they went ahead and snagged DeMar from the Spurs in free agency, while trading way too much shit away to get Vucevic from the Orlando Magic, talk about a huge mistake. You thought they were building something, you know? And don't even get me started on Lonzo Ball, who's been nice for the team when he is playing, but that's the thing, he hasn't been playing. I mean, the guy hasn't been healthy all year, and probably won't be back in time for the rest of the season, which leads me to the point of this video. Trade talks have been a bit slow this year, and that's because there are two teams holding up the trade market, with both of them on the fence about either committing to the rest of the season and making a playoff push, or throwing the towel and giving up on the current roster. Who are the two teams, you might be asking? Well, I'm talking about the Toronto Raptors and the Chicago Bulls. Now, most of the fan base has come to terms with the fact that the team assembled right now will never win a championship. And so, I think it's time for the front office to do the same, and just give up on this roster. And trade all the pieces away before it's too late and they lose their value. Well, that's about it for the video. Thought it'd be cool to talk about something right before the NFL playoffs, which I'm going to be constantly covering, so look out for that. Alright, deuces.